795 days ago. Look at this set in London. The FGS Team of the Season Cup is back in person, it's back on LAN, and it's back live right now. Here we go, game one in Group B. It's Fnatic up against DhTekkz. And this plans to be the perfect start. Top two go through to the upper bracket. Finish fourth, you're out the tournament. Finish third, it's into the loser bracket and down in the trenches.
And this first game is so important to get your tournament off to the right start, to get a win under your belt, because with the group stages, you'll find yourself in a really tough environment, in a tough set of matches going into game two and game three, knowing that you have to win. You pick up a victory in this first game, you can go into those last couple of matches knowing that I've got an opportunity to potentially top the group and give myself a better seed going into the knockout bracket.
Well, here we go then. We will do our best to give you the exact indication of who is controlling who in this. It will be Tekkz controlling that red icon for Fnatic from left to right. His teammate Diogo also involved with that yellow icon with the yellow circle above his head. I was speaking to Diogo just a few hours ago today saying, how's he feeling? How was preparation yesterday? He said, look, we've been here since early days yesterday. We played about 7 best-of-2 games. We've been grinding away. We feel confident. We feel good. I think they're the only team here as well that haven't got a coach.
Do they need it? Does someone need to tell Fnatic?
That's the point.
Yeah,
they don't need one.
No, they don't. They've got so much experience behind them as well. Just last weekend, both of the competitors were at the E-Champions League knockout stages in Stockholm, Sweden. Tekkz getting one of those top 8 spots to the finals. We've traded the 1v1 for the 2v2 FIFA this time around. The Team of the Season Cup. 16 Masters teams, 16 Open winners. This is the first example of an Open winner, DhTekkz, who qualified from Sydney, and Fnatic, who did get an FGS Masters spot. Yeah,
it's an interesting story, this competition, isn't it? 16 teams are invited, their master teams that were announced at the beginning of the FIFA competitive season. 16 more teams, as you said, Richard, had to battle through qualification in December. We were there live in London. The players were playing from the comfort of their own homes in different regions all around the world. And here come Fnatic with their first real chance and takes towards goal. It's Tekkz with a cheeky little roulette back-to-back. Expect to see that flair element to his game. He's on main stage, he's back in LAN, and already you've had a little taster of what is to come from the 5 times for Champions Cup winner. A little reversal has to go there. Was so close of R9 to finding a shot at goal.
You can already see the passages of play that DhTekkz are starting to create, looking for that ball down the line, looking to get in behind, playing a 4-3-2-1 formation. This DhTekkz roster, the only team in the tournament to be using this formation.
I just want to give him a bit of a shout out as well to DhTekkz, because here's a story for you, Richard. I was going around the booth earlier today, speaking to different teams here. Team DhTekkz. I asked the same question to every team. Who are you most worried about in this competition to Team DhTekkz? They said DhTekkz. I did not expect that answer.
Well, it's not only the fact that they're amazing FIFA players, but coming from the Oceania region, there's just not a lot of data on those players. Teams in Europe play week in, day out, all the time. You get to know who you're playing against, their tendencies, their formations, their tactics. DhTekkz are really a surprise package coming into this, and there was talk about them being one of the better teams from that Oceania region. They won the Sydney Open, so that there's a title behind them there. The confidence is certainly flowing, and they've been here since the 21st. They've had time to acclimatise themselves, get reps in against other European teams.
And the crazy thing about it as well, Richard, is Fnatic looked to build up for a chance, defended well by DhTekkz. For a lot of people, it's their first offline event. Mark is only 17, Rich. It's another example of a player that came through the online era. He was only 16 last year on FIFA 20, I should say. FIFA 21, I'm sorry. He had basically a first opportunity to compete online. This is his first LAN. For a lot of players, it's going to be nerve-wracking, or they're just going to be super excited. Building now, here's Pele, one more pass. Cuts back inside, DhTekkz building up for the perfect chance in a goal. Bellingham, Messi stinks down hands of Michael, and that should be just about dealt with by João Cancelo.
A good opportunity there. Pele played the extra pass back into the middle of the box, but I thought the Brazilian could have had a chance at goal. It opened up for him.
And look, we say there's not much data about DhTekkz. We have got some good data. That's one of the teammates in Mike. He was an FGS winner just last month, or this month in April, just a few days ago. Building up perfectly. DhTekkz, they seem back on the hunt. Lovely scoop turn, Pele pulls the shot away. That's 2 chances in quick succession for the Aussies. Fnatic on the back foot. They haven't travelled over the other side of the world to London for nothing. There's a serious play there. Available. Pele back to goal again. Schmeichel, 2 hands on that one, comfortably.
All dire wolves in these first 30 minutes. Couple of good opportunities looking to create in and around the box. The set piece showing that they've worked on a couple of different set piece routines as well. Floated onto the penalty spot and then they're winning that initial contact, trying to knock it down into a dangerous area. They're looking good so far, dire wolves, but Fnatic have got so much quality. They can sting you so quickly.
Just like that. There you go. There's an example of it. Tekkz into Diogo. Ronaldinho will score. And it's the first goal that you've seen live in the Team of the Season Cup from London. We'll see it again on the replay. It was R9 in so much space. And who else? He was the star man last week in the Champions League for Tekkz. He has to be in this team, Ronaldinho. Take a bow. Big goal.
He's got that about him, does Ronaldinho. He's a bit more physical than you'd expect coming in at that back post. He can jostle a defender, and that's maybe why I'm surprised to see Marcelo in that position at left back. Yes, creatively, 5-star, 5-star, he's one of the best left backs on the game, but does Cancelo win that at the back post when it's put into him? Potentially so. It could be something that we start to see throughout the weekend. It was almost perfect, really, when I said they can sting you. We see a nothing chance out wide, cut back, curled into the back post, and Ronaldinho getting up above Marcelo to nod it in.
And I mean, this is our first real indicator of 2v2 competitive FIFA on land when there's been a huge lump of cash as dire wolves look to build this attack for. We'll talk more about that in just a second. Bellingham into Hullet, defended well by João Cancelo. What are some of the biggest indicators we're going to see from perfect teams? Because there isn't much to go off in terms of 2v2. Yes, there's E-Club World Cup qualifiers. Yes, we've got a selection of Master Cups online and remote. But again, that's regional lot, that's regional base. We haven't seen a lot of matchups we'll see this weekend. What are we expected to see from teams that are going to get into Sunday?
The defensive championships. I think we're going to see very good defensive performances. We had the opportunity to commentate a lot of the FGS Masters tournaments, a weekly process where we took 4 teams. What was the sort of resounding thing that we kept coming back to? Ryan Pessoa breaking down the plays. It was defensively, these teams are the best. They're not conceding chances, they're not conceding opportunities. And then when they're getting 1 or 2 opportunities to score, they're very, very clinical. They're not taking shots from 20, 25 yards. They're working that extra pass, they're working the off space inside the box, but they've always got that really good, solid defensive foundation to build upon.
And let's not beat around the bush here, Rich. The teams that have got chemistry as well. Friends, teammates, some play for the same organisation, some are, yeah, national teammates. I just saw, it was only just a few days ago that these 2 of dire wolves announced they'll be back in the Australian E-League playing for Newcastle Jets this year. That's just another indicator of just some of the gelling that can happen. Yes, it was a 1v1 tournament, but even the Premier League for Liverpool, in the same team, both had to pull their weight. They got a quarter-final spot. Yes, they would have wanted to go a little bit higher. Nevertheless, they've just got reps in all different sort of tournaments. Half-time here as we get back on the way. But those open teams, they're on the top half of the studio around here. I don't mean to put you on the spot, Rich, but we were talking a lot coming into this tournament. We've been waiting months for it. You mentioned that an open team you think maybe could go the full way this time round against the Masters teams. I'd like to back you up on that point. Is that still something you're potentially thinking? And 2, why do you think that?
Just the fact that they've had to play to get here. Obviously, those FGS Masters teams, that was from previous achievements in FIFA history, the sort of accolades of the organisation or on the players, but to have to fight for your spot to get here, I think that gives you another layer of confidence that, look, we've already been there, we've already won a title, we've already won a qualification spot. Let's build on that.
Here's Fnatic building nicely. It's Diogo now of Messi driving forward on that left boot, cuts it inside. What a save, Van der Sar. It's straight at the goalkeeper, but brilliantly done from Diogo. Just got his head down with Messi. Look for the cutback. It was on a plate for R9. It was Edwin van der Sar with a massive save. This attack is not over yet, though. Fnatic on the hunt for more and a second goal, just to give them some breathing space here in the opening leg.
So direct from Diogo for Team Fnatic. He just, as you said, got his head down, put the skates on and drove into the penalty area. You probably look back at that and think, you know what? Should have stuck it across the goalkeeper. Should have maybe got a better opportunity to score there.
Mbappe finds Hullet. Dire wolves on the hunt for their first goal in this competition. Have to say as well, right now, many other games taking place. There is a B stream available if you are watching this main broadcast. You want to stay up to date with Stream C and D as well. There's plenty of games taking place. That game in Stream D, by the way, Team Hull at Ninjas in Pyjamas against Team Makers Sweden, I believe it is.
Ridiculous game.
What a game. What an opening game that is.
Could be a semi-final, could even be a final. A game of that quality. So many champions in that matchup. Outstanding. That's the first game for both of those two sides.
Kanto finds Hull. This is Fnatic again looking for their second. R9 looks to drop the shoulder. It's good to see Diogo have a bit more of that flair. I'm sure Tekkz has worn off on him over the last few months. He's always been more of the flary of the two. You all see that in this 2v2 environment, that yes, it is a team game, and you'll see captains or one player in the team control the goalkeeper movement, the offside traps. I was speaking to Direwolves about this heavily earlier today, saying that Mike's in control of that. Mark might have that bit more flair to his game. The extra skill move, La Croqueta, Elastico back-to-back maybe. Wouldn't surprise me, he's the younger player out of the two of them.
They struggled to get past this Fnatic press, have Direwolves, especially in this second half. They're pressing them really well. Just forcing them in the middle of the pitch here, forcing them wide almost, not allowing them to play down the middle of the pitch. And as soon as they get in those wide areas, they're just snuffing out any sort of danger. 69 minutes on the clock, and we're going to see our first potential changes and pauses here. Obviously, for the integrity of the players, we're not going to show those changes.
Nevertheless, we'll do our best to keep you up to date. You can see both different teams. Kante and a Hullet partnership on one side.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, the only player that is not an icon or a team of the year is future stars Jude Bellingham. It's still months on from when he was released. He is still deemed viable by pros to feature in these teams, and he plays an impact, and he offers you just that all-round midfielder that you want.
Yeah, he's so good. It is the future stars Jude Bellingham. He ticks all the boxes.
Remember, all the games are played over two legs. Aggregate scoreline playing its part on finding out who will be getting their first win on the board in this Group B. 8 groups of 4, making up 32 teams here in the Team of the Season Cup. Only one will stand as champion on Sunday evening here in London. $100,000 they'll bag, and the first ever Team of the Season Cup trophy. Tekkz in possession of R9. He's found himself quite wide, in all honesty, R9, but he did provide the assist of the first goal. That loop cross into the box.
Ousmane Dembele off the bench. Received his upgrades recently. What a player he is now.
Still a fantasy item.
Yep.
Still worth over about 4 million coins.
Chance.
Oh no, what a save. Schmeichel, Ronaldinho! First goal for the Aussies. And the first goal for Direwolves. Ronaldinho down one end for Fnatic in the first half. And we'll see again on the replay. Jude Bellingham, we spoke how good he is. Look at that close control dribbling. Ousmane Dembele, he's not a centre mid by trade. He is not a centre midfielder by trade. I think it's Fantasy's a striker, isn't it? It came out as.
It is, yeah. You saw Ronaldinho, simple finish for him as it just fell to him inside the box, tucking it into the back of the net. But all the work was done from Jude Bellingham, twisting, turning, pivoting in the middle of the midfield, and then playing that pass into R9. The initial strike with a good save from Schmeichel, but Ronaldinho, right place, right time. You see the formation there. It's a midfield three of Ousmane Dembele, Jude Bellingham and Ruud Gullit, with Ronaldinho, R9 Ronaldo and Team of the Year Cristiano Ronaldo as that front three.
Really nice studio build as well that has been created here by everyone working behind the scenes. There's a little back room in each of the pods for players and staff to be, coaches to be there. It's just a really well thought out venue, this. And I think it's more than anyone could have honestly imagined. Back here in person after such a long time. It's just difficult to predict who is going to win this weekend. It really is.
Well,
it's such a different kettle of fish to 1v1.
This is what you want coming into tournaments. You want there to be an element of unknown, an element of surprise in all of these matches. And I'm sure to a lot of people watching at home right now, they might have thought a Fnatic comfortable victory here.
And it comes, Ruben Dias is there. Ruben Dias defensively does enough. Panty Sabia picks it up again off N'Golo Kante. This is Tekkz in control for Fnatic. Eusebio! That's Tekkz! Doing Tekkz things! It's only taken him one leg of FIFA to get underway here in London. And they look like they'll be ending this leg one, the happier of the two teams, with a very narrow scoreline.
Eusebio come off the bench and potentially winning the game here. Left foot, the final chance is going to come to Fnatic.
Keep an eye on Mbappe, just triggering that run into the box. That's Diogo in control of that one. Vinicius holding up play. Tekkz building. Again, which way will he go? Oh, that's cheeky. Very, very cheeky. That is leg one concluded here. Fnatic 2, Direwolves 1 at the halfway point in our first opening game here at the Team of the Season Cup. They may have left it late, but Fnatic and Tekkz striking themselves into an opening lead here. We're off for a quick break now. When we get back, we'll have the second leg here in Group B to find out how we'll kick off proceedings here at the Team of the Season Cup. To explain the story, to explain the format, and to find out which 2v2 team is the best on paper from our only opportunity to really see that this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had qualifiers, we've had club qualifiers, national qualifiers. This is where it all comes down to it. This is where you have to put up or shut up in the Team of the Season Cup. $500,000 prize pool. One team will be walking away on Sunday evening when it's all said and done with $100,000 and a Club World Cup qualification spot in the back pocket.
Yeah, that must be said as well, Richard. That was announced, or to be announced, I'd say, coming up later this year. Another tournament to play for. This is the route into the Club World Cup, and also the opportunity to call yourself champions here back at LAN in the Team of the Season Cup. The first of its kind. The weekend we celebrate the launch of Team of the Season as well, with that all-important community team later on today. We're going back underway for this one. It's Fnatic from right to left in there. Trademark kit. Direwolves from left to right. Keep an eye on that blue cursor. That is Tekkz controlling that one. Keep an eye out for his teammate Diogo with that sort of turquoise blue circle above his head. It's Direwolves on the hunt. They are 2-1 down. Could it be 2-2? Drops his shoulder, defended well. In the meantime, let's go back down to Carl Walker. Carl, what's going on?
Well, Brandon, Richard, there's goals going in all over the place. I'll start with M42 Esports. They're 1-0 up in this second leg. 3-2 down, though, on aggregate against Team Falcon. 17 minutes gone in that game. Can Sharon Jot, can he bring it back for M42 Esports? But in the other game that you guys have said could be a final where it's got super interesting, Makers Sweden, well, they made it 2 goals up in that second leg.
Thank you very much, Carl. Interested to hear results going in from all around the other pods right now. Not so good at the moment for Team Hullet in Indians in pyjamas. They are pretty close to us, so I'll remain not too loud about it.
I mean, they know, though, it's such a tough start. We've said it could be a final, but it really could be. Potentially one of the best FGS Open teams coming through that bracket are Makers Sweden.
Tekkz building up now for Fnatic. Their first real sniff in the box. Tekkz doing what Tekkz does. It's R9 trying to find his way through on his own. I think what he's looking for there, naturally, bait the tackle, bait the player to come out of position, then just slide across to Diogo and tap it into the back of the net. Direwolves do stand strong, though, 20 minutes in here.
Well, we've had an inside look, really, to a lot of what Tekkz has been like in 2v2 and the progression that he's made because of our involvement with England as the footballing nation and their qualifying campaign in the FIFA E-Nations Cup. Tekkz has been involved in that all the way since week 1 of the play-ins. They've got better and better. Tekkz, Mitch and Tom Lees, that team for England. Also Big Mac involved in the squad.
I think it's difficult to say as well, Richard, is what is enough to get top 2 in this group? I mean, certainly you want an opening win. That's going to put you in good stead for wins. That. But you'd think 2 wins would obviously be enough, naturally, of course, mathematically.
Yeah, 2 wins put you through the bracket. You win your first game and then your second game will put you in that.
I mean, either way, Rich.
Top batch.
Makers Sweden or Team Hullet are going to have to start on the back foot in this tournament. That is how the cookie's literally going to crumble here in London. 30 minutes played. Fnatic still in control. They took a lead with the 87th minute via Tekkz, who finessed it in with Eusebio, fresh off the bench, the Portuguese icon. Pretty similar teams here, to be honest. The only real change is the centre mids and the goalkeepers between the two. That's going to be the common difference in squads. Maybe Ronaldinho featuring in the old team as well, or he's not. 4 others. Marcelo comes into the fold in a left-back too. That recent foot captain upgrade that he did get. Deemed good enough for pros to feature in as a left-back. Here's Mbappe now. This is Direwolves. It's Pele! Timed it green! And every time they've conceded, they've bounced back. They've been a team that many have spoken about here in London to watch out for, to keep an eye on.
It was R9 getting dispossessed in the middle of the park. They lost the ball, did Fnatic. Mbappe punched into his feet. He just offloaded it to Pele. Green time strike at the near post. Nothing Schmeichel can do about that one bit. And Fnatic find themselves back in this tie. Direwolves, what a goal. 2-2.
Game on. Perfect start here in the game we're giving you from Group B. The group that has MG, CFE Sports, the Brazilian organisation, and Ajax back on lab. But a slightly different roster. No Danny Hackerberg this time round. It's Ajax Finn, one of the youngest competitors in this tour. I think the youngest, 16 years of age, the player that came through the Zigo E battle. Now playing for Ajax after a first ever Eredivisie split now in his first ever EA major, teaming up with one of the most experienced players in this tournament, Levi Frederique. An E-World Cup finalist last year.
Playoff champion. He's been there, done that, got the T-shirt, has Levi Frederique. Stern status, you might know him as if you're an old school FIFA veteran. Saw him at LAN FIFA 19 Singapore. That would have been the qualifier number 5.
Played against this man on the screen,
didn't
he?
Yeah, in the console final.
One of Tekksz's many for Champions Cups wins. Direwolves just trying to build into this last chance off the first 45. It finds Hullit's feet. A couple of ball rolls from the Dutch midfielder. Love to get a passing count of this attack. They have literally been in possession.
You jinxed him.
No, I've just jinxed him. No, they've got it back now. Messi. We can see what he can. Watch out on that left foot. Half time here, Richard. Hopefully we can have a few stats between these two. A very
evenly poised.
Yeah, very even. 45 hit.
You come into this second leg. Fnatic obviously scored late. They got that Eusebio finish, but
that's something we're going to be able to see now. We've seen just how crucial the involvement of Jude Bellingham is in this midfield. Played a massive part. In their second goal.
Do you know what feels weird? Obviously, we're in the casting position now. We're up in the booth. When we're commentating remote, we don't hear the reactions from the players. I just heard a roar, and it caught me off guard. I've not heard that in 2.5 years. I've not been used to hearing player reactions and crowd reactions from people here in a venue.
That came from Team Hullet Ninjas in Pyjamas as well, Richard, so we'll do our best to keep up to date with what on earth is going on in that game. We heard that goals have been flying in the second leg, though. They're currently taking on Team Makers Sweden. Bit of a tough one, really, isn't it? Olilito against Oliboli and Optole, teammates at a national level.
I mean, we saw Oliboli and Optole last week. Optole playing in the E-Champions League and Oliboli coaching him. Now they're playing together.
It's fought for a split second there. Might see Messi's first left foot finesse of the tournament. Couldn't quite guide that one in from Direwolves. Certainly feels like the sting of this game has ever so slightly changed. Messi on that right boot, down will be crossing that ball into the box. Instead, be trying to work it in. Mbappe and Kante interchange, the 3 French midfielders.
He's done well. He's done very well, Messi.
Could be an ongoing run there if he can find Pele. Well played, Ruben Diaz. Tekkz in control there. That blue icon above his head. Team of the year, Marquinhos does get the shout alongside Ruben Diaz at the back.
Might be controversial, but I feel like Direwolves are probably the team looking more likely to go on and win this.
And that's why FIFA's played over 2 legs, isn't it, Richard? Always get such a different second performance. Sometimes it takes a team just a game to get into it, get into the feeling of playing on LAN. Pause has come in from Direwolves. Expect to see the likes of Eusebio, Zidane, maybe even CR7. The list goes on of players that could come off the bench and have their impact on the game. A left foot finesse from Tekkz, maybe of Messi. No, plays it into Ronaldinho. Hullet will interchange just as well. Reverse Elastico, not come off kindly. Diogo does well. It's Marcelo still. This is where they are dangerous. Fnatic. Tekkz in control. R9 Elastico. skill move that he is renowned and famous for, casting back to Atlanta many moons ago. Have to move at speed though when you get in that box, because otherwise there's so many shirts in there, it's so hard to break down. Yeah,
double press, and then with the AI as well, sort of dropping off, looking for the blocks, looking to reshape. It's really tough.
Building. Watch out for R9 there, just teasing a run. Messi finds Solis, his dire walls, back to go Mbappe. Elastico! Oh, it's beautiful! The Aussies come alive in London. It's the first time they've led in the game. You said they looked like they were going to score.
Dire Wolves. They've not come just to be part of the numbers. They've come to play. Look at that turn. Sends him inside and out. Reverse Elastico with Mbappe and fires it into the left corner. Ruben Diaz, he was doing the hokey pokey. He put his leg out and then pulled it back. Maybe if he commits to that, you might block it.
It looked like it was the animation of a little Elastico there. It was just a complete combination of everything, really. A simple little cancel, I believe, of all to get away from the play. A massive goal for Dire Wolves, by the way. They just need, in the nicest way, to sit on this now. Make it really difficult.
Make it hard to play against.
People have spoken about this team, Rich. People, heretics down there, were saying, one team I said, watch out for this weekend. They said Dire Wolves, who played them early in the week, they gave us a really good game.
You see the little snippet of the formations there in the bottom right corner. Dire Wolves in that 4-3-2-1 that they've been playing all qualifiers and a lot of the warm-up games to bring it into the tournament here. On the other side of it, it was a 3-5-2 for Fnatic, looking potentially to change into a narrow now to combat that 4-3-2-1. But I'll tell you what, they don't have a lot of time left.
Building nicely, Mbappe finds Pele. This is Fnatic on the hunt for that goal. Off the restart, Tekkz in control. It's Tekkz on his own. It's taken just minutes. Minutes for Fnatic to react.
Seconds, if that. Kick off, play it around the back a little bit. Messi picks up the ball here. He fires it into Mbappe, and Diogo just gives the ball to Tekkz. Twisting, turning, you give him too much space. You give him an inch, he will take a mile, will Fnatic Tekkz. Slams it into that left corner. And we're back level pegging, 3 apiece.
The best way you can reply, isn't it? Instantly, otherwise minutes go on, you start doubting yourself. Back into that team management change now. Back to what they probably were playing about a minute ago.
And that's so hard as well for Dire Wolves, because we said they look like the more likely, they look like the ones sort of getting into the game, looking to get a goal. They worked so hard, they got that goal. And then what? A minute and a half later, straight from the kickoff, Tekkz scores, Fnatic back in the game.
The game which could be so hugely important. Tekkz naturally taking that captain's armband, and he was the man that just scored the all-important equalizer. 8 minutes on the clock, 3-3 here in our opening game in Group B in the Team of the Season Cup. What a game, what a first introduction this has been to what is to come this weekend. 6 minutes away from extra time. Ronaldinho does well. This is Dire Wolves. Finds R9. Is there one more pass available? Ousmane Dembele on the pitch. The foot fantasy eye to Ousmane Dembele. Oh, he was close enough to ripple in the back of Fnatic's net.
Oh, it's really nice. The Elastico to set it up. Didn't time it green. Maybe you could say that was the only thing. But that strike from Ousmane Dembele, you expect it. As soon as it leaves his right boot to be hitting the back of the net. Fnatic here, playing for the last chance of the game.
It looks to be loading up for that last chance of the game, don't they?
They know what they can do.
Waiting until that additional time does get added on. It looks as if Ronaldinho's found himself a spot of right back.
He's doing a job for the team.
Allows room for Eusebio to come on the pitch. That's certainly one thing.
Here we go then.
Well, we knew we were going to have tight games this weekend, Richard. Extra time in the first one between these two teams. 6 goals between the two over the 2 legs. 3-3. It's evenly split and evenly poised. 30 more minutes to come to find out who will be potentially topping the group here in Group B.
Yeah, I'm just looking across the stage here, which has been set. AFC Ajax just fist bumps all round.
As Ajax have just finished their game. Ousmane Dembele. R9, this is Dire Wolves. Defended well by Vieira, who's the only player that's technically really out of position. See the eminent centre-back. It's a player change and a position change that's been happening for years in competitive FIFA.
Yeah, I mean, that's one that you start the game with. Obviously, things can happen throughout the match that put players in sort of unusual positions. I've seen Pele at right back in our time. Ronaldinho's doing a job at the moment at right full back. This first half always flies by us. Fnatic, loose pass possession, back over to the DhTekkz, and they will probably get the last roll of the dice here in this first half of extra time. And just as I say that, Eusebio quick on the press, and Fnatic with an opportunity.
Mbappe on the hump. Finds Eusebio. Wow, wow, wow.
It's all kicking off here.
It's hard to just not take it in. LAN is just a completely different kettle of fish. Chance from distance, what a save, and us up. Just that raw emotion, Richard, that we have not had for years. That was Crew Esports there. Sergio Aguero's esports organisation. Valen and Iago, the two Argentines, up off their feet, screaming whatever in front of each other's faces. That's going to do us, pretty much.
One more chance.
One more chance to get the ball forward. Should be defended well by Marquinhos. And 15 minutes played here. We're 15 minutes away from penalties. Between DhTekkz and Fnatic. 3-3 the scoreline here in Group B.
Honestly, this is very, very tense.
It's only the first game.
We thought it'll be live 30 minutes. We're in 15 minutes away from penalties already.
Eusebio finds Mbappe. Be lucky to get one more decent chance each of both teams here. Pele finds Bellingham. He's off the bench. Could be a gift. It's Tekkz with R9. Elastico cuts back inside, looking for the perfect way to manoeuvre his way around the defence. Credit where it's due to DhTekkz. Just standing strong there.
He stood up really, really well to that, did DhTekkz. And potentially, with 5 minutes left to play, they could get the last roll of the dice to send Fnatic down into a loser's bracket.
R9. Finds Usman Dembele, that fantasy item that's in a bit of a different position than his in-game item does represent, but nevertheless, the French midfielder has been doing a job there. Here we go.
This is it.
Last chance, last roll of the dice for Fnatic, or we are on our way to penalties. Ronaldinho, this is Fnatic now. Eusebio. Tekkz in the driving seat with the Portuguese star. Looks for the cutback.
Penalties.
We're on our way to penalty shootouts here in Group B. Up steps DhTekkz first with Usman Dembele. Steps up. Saved by Fnatic. It's an awful start. Could have been the perfect start. Eusebio for Fnatic. Scores.
DhTekkz step up in a very, very important moment right now. CR7 from the spot. Scores. Slots it into that bottom left corner. Fnatic to keep their lead to 1. Ronaldinho scores.
2 for 2 of Fnatic. DhTekkz must score this. R9, he does. Is it 3 from 3? Perfect pens. I mean, it's Mr. Reliable over it. Fnatic. Diogo steps up. Save. We're back on.
Well, here we go. DhTekkz to take the lead. Ronaldinho saved. Fnatic now to go within touching distance. It's Pele from the spot, slots it down the middle.
Here we go. DhTekkz must score. They need to score. They really do. They will. Simple as this. You score. It's a big win on the board for Fnatic. It's Diogo that steps up. The teammate of Tekkz. Save. Sudden death.
Oh my goodness. Jude Bellingham stepping up to the spot. Scores. Fnatic must score. Must score penalty. Ruud Gullit steps up to the mark. Scores! Oh.
We go again. We go again in sudden death. Up steps DhTekkz. Foot captain. Marcelo down the middle again. Score to stay in it. Save DhTekkz. They're on their way. Oh my, we go again.
The opportunity to keep in the winner's bracket is on the line right here. Marquinhos steps up to the spot, straight down the middle. They've read the book. And now Fnatic with Patrick Vieira from 12 yards. Scores! Fnatic maintain their winner's bracket run.
Emotionless. He knows it's a long run, Tekkz. Fnatic on their way. Ice in the veins, he points to. Commiserations to Direwolves. It says a lot when a game has to go to penalties, just how narrow and tightly contest it was there between the two. Massive win on the board for Fnatic, Richard, in a very difficult Group B.
Oh.